have heard or probably experienced someone losing your property to the government or being called up in court on the basis of someone claiming ownership of the same property that they have bought years ago. This is usually not a pleasant experience. However, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the processes of being verified legally in the eyes of the government and in the eyes of the people as the legitimate owner of a piece of property, so you don't run the risk of losing your property to the government or being called up on court issues. So keep watching. According to the Land Use Act of 1973, every land in a state belongs to the state governor of that state. So in Nigeria, a land is not fully yours until you are legally recognized by the governor as the legitimate owner of that land. Prior to that, you are just running a risk of losing your property to the governor or to the government, or scammers reselling your property to another person who is innocently buying trouble or buying a property you just purchased. So when you buy a property, get the right documents and proceed to register your property. However, if you don't get the right documents upon purchase, you wouldn't even be able to carry out the stage 1 of this registration. You see why it's important to get the right documents prior to purchase or when you're purchasing a property, because if you don't, you've just lost the property. You are just carrying a mere paper. So the first stage of this registration is the accession stage. This is where the government declares your property free from any form of encumbrance. You know, this is important, especially when you're buying a virgin land. You have to get it excised by the government. If not, it is running the risk of being collected years after by the governor or by the government of the state. So in the accession process, your land is declared free from every form of government encumbrance, and it will be given an accession document and the accession number. With these documents, you can proceed to the second stage of this registration. The second stage is gazetting of the excised land. Here, your document or your property is registered in the Surveyor General's office in a document called the Gazette, which carries the list of all the property that have been excised and free from government encumbrance. So your documents and your land will be registered there, and anybody searching your land would just know that it's free from government encumbrance and that it's owned by you, because it will have the survey plan and everything about your property. With a Gazette document, you can move on to get your C of O. That is the certificate of occupancy. The certificate of occupancy is actually the highest land title, and this is because it is the only document, actually not the only though, it is the document issued by the governor himself, showing that he has leased out this property belonging to the state governor to you to be the legitimate holder for the period of 99 years, and after which you can renew the documents. You see why it is very, very important. You see why a C of O property is highly priced, because it's actually coming from a higher authority. So once you have your Gazette, you can easily get a C of O to the property. So the C of O is simply a document issued by the governor of the state, showing that he has leased out this property to so and so to hold for the period of 99 years, and after which he can renew it. However, for a C of O property, it must have probably gone through this process to obtain that C of O. So when you buy a C of O property, you get your deed of assignment, and upon registration, you'll be given the document governor's consent, which is actually the fourth stage of the registration I want to talk about. So with a deed of assignment, at this stage, you'll be issued a governor's consent. A governor's consent is simply a document showing that the governor of a state consented to the resale of a C of O land. This simply means that for a C of O land to be resold, the governor should have the consent for that. You see how the Land Use Act have actually made the governor the total controller of the land. So a governor's consent simply shows that the governor is consenting to the resale of the C of O land that you probably have bought. So it is more like a C of O, because the governor's consent will be bearing your name and the land in question, showing that you are now the person known by the governor or by the government of a state as the legitimate owner of that piece of property. Once someone goes to sell the property, it is your name and the property in question that the person will be seeing. So when you go to, if you have any issue in court and you have this document, my dear, you don't even have any issue at all, because in the eyes of the governor, in the eyes of the state, in the eyes of the law, you are the legitimate owner of the property. Hope you got value from this video, my amiable investors. Anyways, do not forget, I am Josie Nnadi, your real estate therapist. That's one realtor you would ever need to make the wise, best, smartest real estate decision. Because I here would lead you by the hand and make sure you understand real estate before investing. The quote here is, understand real estate first, then invest right. Anyways, until I come to your face next time, I am still Josie Nnadi, your real estate therapist. Bye-bye.